So today I'm going to do another video experience, and this time it's going to be about teaching to the test, like I talked about in my last vlog, and the experience I've had with how classrooms and teachers will teach to the test. And this experience actually isn't like technically firsthand, but I kind of experienced it. But I worked with a school for I'm an education major, and so I had to do like a clinical experience where I went out and like observed a class and taught a couple lessons or whatever. So I worked with the 4th grade class in Collinsville, and my teacher and I talked a lot about just a bunch of random things, and one day she mentioned she was explaining why what they were doing was weird. Like, they were doing a reading lesson, and then one of the kids in the class that had special needs had to leave to go with his special needs teacher. So she took the time to explain afterwards when they, like, because as soon as he left, they had to switch subjects. They moved on to something else, and they just disregarded what they were just doing, and were like, we're going to pick up from it later. And so when she had the kids start something else, she sat down, she was talking to me, and she was like, basically, she said that they had to switch because he left. Because with the new standards of RTI, with the new standards, the whole class has to be present to do that stuff. Which I thought was really weird. Like, I mean, the kid has special needs. Like, that he's taken out of the class for reasons to get help on stuff. Why should he have to, like... I mean, he's not really missing much. They're reading a story out of a reading anthology. So that was weird to me. And then she moved on to say, well, because we were talking about RTI and how all these new, like, rules and standards are just very annoying for her. And she's like, it has changed my teaching tremendously. And she's not that old. She's been teaching for almost 10 years. And she's really not that old. So, it just drives me nuts that, like, that's how she has to, you know, change. And because of standards and because of No Child Left Behind. So anyway, she moved on to say that, yeah, the standards have made, and No Child Left Behind and standardized testing have made my curriculum change. Have made me now, instead of teaching a little bit of each subject, like every single day, she not only teaches, get this, now only teaches 1 lesson of social studies a week and 1 lesson of science a week. Like, 1 a week, 1 hour lesson once a week. Is all these kids are getting science and all they're getting social studies. And this is 4th grade. Like, I don't know about you guys, but for me in 4th grade, we had a social study and a science textbook, and we went through that baby every day. Like, we did a different lesson. We did tons of hands-on experience. And so it just, like, kind of blew my mind that she was only spending 1 hour a week on it. And I was like, that's crazy. And she's like, that's all I have time for. Because she spends all her other time, like, talking about, you know, like, talking about reading and writing and grammar and math. Like, they spend all their time switching subjects back and forth from those 4 and just keep going in and out with different activities. And it's like a repetitive thing. Every time I go in there, they do the same sinking thing over and over. They start with math games, and then I would teach, or I would just observe. They'd start with math games while the bell rang, and then they would move on to do a reading anthology. They'd open their book, and then they'd do a worksheet. And then they would move on to doing writes, and it was just like college. Like, not even, like, it was just like, here's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna do this, so you guys learn. And she even told me once that her kids weren't learning, like, they could read the stuff and they could rehash what it said, but they weren't actually learning how to tell what the context of it was saying, to tell what it was actually meaning versus what it was saying, which to me was crazy. Like, I mean, they're 4th graders, but they still should be able to tell what something means, but they've gotten so used to just looking at it and just being like, oh, this is what it says, versus, like, trying to figure out what it means. So that's just my thoughts on it, and just seeing that in a classroom, and hearing what my teacher had to think about it, and how just teaching to the test has just changed so much, and how the standards are very inefficient for teachers. So thanks for watching.